Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Dana Braja Jana Ranjana Jasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Hare.
Jayo Radha Krishna Chandra Radha Krishna Chandra Radhe.
Jaya Radha Krishna Chandra Radha Krishna Chandra Radhe.
Jayo Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jayo Nitai Gauranga.
Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga.
Jayo Jayo Prabhupada 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 Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada 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 Prabhupada.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotra Shri Srimad Divine Grace Abhay Charan Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotra Shri Srimad Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshvabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Shri Radha Krishna Chandra Shri Nitai Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 16th chapter, text number 28. Bhagavantam parikramya pranipatyanumanyacha pratijagmuhu pramudita Shamsanto Vaishnavim Shriyam. Bhagavantam parikramya pranipatyanumanyacha pratijagmuhu pramudita Shamsanto Vaishnavim Shriyam. Bhagavantam parikramya pranipatyanumanyacha pratijagmuhu pramuditaha Shamsanto Vaishnavim Shriyam. Word to word meaning: Bhagavantam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Parikramya, after circumambulating, pranipatya, after offering obeisances, anumanya, after learning, cha, and pratijagmuhu, return, pramuditaha, extremely delighted, shamsantaha, glorifying, Vaishnavi, of the Vaishnavas, Shriyam, opulence. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The sages circumambulated the Supreme Lord, offered their obeisances and returned, extremely delighted at learning of the divine opulences of the Vaishnava. Please repeat the translation. The sages circumambulated the Supreme Lord, offered their obeisances and returned, extremely delighted at learning of the divine opulences of the Vaishnava. Purport. It is still a respectful practice to circumambulate the Lord in Hindu temples. Especially in Vaishnava temples, there is an arrangement for people to offer their respects to the deity and circumambulate the temple at least 3 times. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurubhe Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Bhagavatam parikramya pranipatyanumanya cha pratijagmuh pramuditaha samsanto Vaishnavim Shriyam. The sages circumambulated the Supreme Lord, offered their obeisances and returned, extremely delighted at learning of the divine opulences of the Vaishnava. See, sometimes we don't value devotee association. Familiarity breeds come because we are so used to being with devotees, we don't value that. And we start committing offense. I remember long time back, there was one devotee in Bangalore, when I was there in Bangalore. So, I met him just like that. So, he was telling me one thing. In 1983, 84, 85, like that, 84, 85, he was doing his engineering at some in Bangalore. He was from Mathura. So, he came to study in Bangalore to do engineering in Bangalore. And then, when he came to Bangalore, he started feeling homesickness. He was missing his hometown. Bangalore was alien culture for him. So he started feeling very morose after some time. So he was thinking what to do. I have to spend here 4 years in Bangalore. How I will spend that time? Anyway, like it or not like it, he was living. And then one day, somewhere while going, at that time in Bangalore, our temple was in Bellary Road. Small house was there. And in that, preaching was being done. So he said, I was moving around that place in Bellary Road, and I saw devotees. Then I said, oh, this is from my hometown. Because he saw the shika, the shaved head, the tilak, and he immediately remembered his hometown, Mathura. There we see everything, like this kind of people. So he was going somewhere, he diverted and he stopped and he went inside our place. And then, as soon as he entered the place, he saw devotees, he saw them chanting, singing. He says, in the middle of a desert, it was an oasis. I found like as though I was back to my hometown. And he said, when he attended the kirtan and he had the prasadam, he said, at last, I felt so much relief. And for many years, whenever he was in Bangalore, he said, I used to go to the Bellary Road temple and Sunday programs and all those things. And he said, when I was in Mathura, I never went to the temple. I never visited anything. Neither I was a devotee like that. I was not interested. But when I came to Bangalore, I started missing all of that. I started missing so much. So, we don't value when the things that we have already. We start valuing only when that is not there. That time we start feeling, oh my God, what has happened? So, the four Kumaras here are saying that because in this whole chapter, in the previous verses, we read about how the Supreme Lord Narayana, the Supreme Lord Vishnu, glorifies Vaishnavas. Verse after verse, we heard about how Lord Narayana was glorifying the different qualities of a Vaishnava. So here, it is saying that Pranipat Anumanya cha Pratijagmuhu Pramuditaha. That means Pranipatya, after paying obeisances, Anumanyaha, after learning about what? About the glories of the Vaishnavas, Samsanto Vaishnavim Shriyam. Anumanya, after learning, we returned Pramuditaha, extremely delighted. The sages were very delighted about hearing about the glorification of the Vaishnavas and their opulences, and they returned back. So sometimes we need to, whenever, these are all very, very basic fundamentals of Krishna consciousness. Our bhakti, our devotion to the Supreme Lord, its foundation is on It is standing on Vaishnava's mercy. Shuddha Bhakta Charana Renu Bhajane Anukula. The dust from the lotus feet of a pure devotee is what will make our bhajana anukulaha. Our devotion to Krishna is established by the mercy of pure devotees, by the mercy of Vaishnavas. We cannot develop devotion to the Supreme Lord without the mercy of Vaishnavas. Just like Shankaracharya says, Smaram Nityam Anityata. That is Shankaracharya's words. It says this, always remember that this material world is anityam. It is not eternal. It is very, very temporary. So don't run behind this. Similarly, for a Vaishnava, we should also smaran nityam dasa dasa anudasa. That should be our slogan. Always we should remember this, because the biggest trap of Maya is to make us believe that we are not Dasa, we are Ishvara. That is the biggest trap. This false ego makes us get into this trap. No, I am also Ishvara, at least a small Ishvara. And from there begins, when our consciousness gets polluted like that, then immediately we start getting attracted to various sense gratificatory activities. Krishna bolia jeev bhoga vancha kare. Because you forget that Krishna is the Ishvara, Krishna is the controller, Krishna is the supreme controller. And when you forget that and then you place yourself as Ishvara, then immediately bhoga vancha kare, immediately unlimited number of material desires start attacking you. So, it is so important. Just like we say Smaran Nityam Anityatam, we should constantly say Smaram Nityam Dasa Dasa Anudasaha. Considering ourselves to be a servant of the servant of the servant of the Vaishnavas. That is the mood that we should be constantly in. But because of our rebellious attitude, we want to rebel. That is the nature of the living entity. Living entity doesn't want to be under someone. He wants to be independent. This independent urge of the living entity is what actually destroys our spiritual growth. Whereas in our spiritual life, we are not at all independent. We are taught to be Ashraya, Ashraya Jivaha, Krishna Ashraya, Guru Ashraya, Vaishnav Ashraya. Ashrita Jivana. We want life of dependence on Guru, Krishna, Sadhu. We are not after anything else. We don't want ashraya, any ashraya independently. Nadanam najanam nasundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhakti rahitu ki tvayi. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's statement. This is the path that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us to follow. I have no desire for wealth, I have no desire for followers, I have no desire for womanly pleasures. My only wish, life after life, is to be engaged in your service. Mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhakti rahitu ki tvayi. That is the only purpose. Then only devotion will manifest in our heart. As devotees, we must be very, very introspective, constantly looking within ourselves. Every word we say, every thought we think, we should be able to measure and then rectify. As soon as we identify it, immediately we must chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare. And by chanting the holy name, even if there is some pollution, we immediately become purified. So you see, in this particular verse, it is mentioned about the circumambulation activity that was carried out by the four sages. Specifically mentioned. They are all devotional activities. Like we say, Shravana, Kirtana, Smarana, Vandana, Pada, Sevana, the Navavida, Bhakti, Marga, they are all different ways of developing devotion to the Supreme Lord, of developing devotion to Lord Krishna. Different methods. So like this, these are all different angas of bhakti. So circumambulation, as soon when we are doing parikrama, when we are doing pradakshina, our mind is saying, He is the center, the Lord is the center of our activities. We are directing our consciousness to think like that. He is the center, because living entities are by nature forgetful of the Supreme Lord. So when we engage, when we do parikrama, we are telling our mind, the Lord is the center. When we do the Govardhan parikrama, it pains, our legs pain, our body pains. It's a test of our physical endurance. But we still want to do it. Why? Because the consciousness, a devotee consciousness is that I will not mind, I will not allow my pain of my body, I will not allow tiredness to dictate my activity. I will allow only what? I will allow devotion to carry me forward. In spite of pain, in spite of discomfort, we try to do the Govardhan parikrama. That is an offering of devotion to the Lord. By devotion, by the power of devotion, I am able to tolerate all these discomforts and pains and miseries. For nobody, parikrama is easy. All of us, we have faced it. But how? We overcome it by the sankalpa that this is for the Lord. This is an offering to Krishna. This is an offering to Govardhan. So we will do parikrama. Even if it is painful, even if it is creating some discomfort, bodily pains for me, I will do it. So, when we do like that, we are automatically, what Shankaracharya says, Smaran Nityam Anityatam, naturally, automatically it happens. Because your purpose is a Krishna conscious purpose. Material or spiritual is defined by the purpose. There is nothing called this table, we say it is material. No, it is material as long as this table is not used for Krishna. But if this table is used for Krishna, then there is no more material in nature in this. It is spiritual, completely spiritual. Just like we say, the Vigraha. The Vigraha is what? Made of metal, stone or wood. But we say that, we worship that, we adore that, we take care of it so nicely. Why? Because that Vigraha is no more material, it has acquired a spiritual form. How it has acquired a spiritual form? By the power of devotion. By devotion, we have invoked the Supreme Personality of God in that metal, stone or wood. So by devotion, anything can be done. This body is a temple. This body is also Malamutra. You want to relate to it as Malamutra, or you want to relate it as a temple. The choice is ours. If you want to relate it as Malamutra, then you can engage in sense gratification. Keep feeding. If you want to relate it as temple, just like you say, parikrama. You do parikrama of the soul within also. There is an Atma within. There is a Paramatma within our heart. So when we are doing parikrama, we are also doing parikrama for the super soul who is present within. And when we are doing parikrama in a temple, we are doing parikrama for the deities of the temple. When we are doing parikrama of a Vaishnava, we are doing for that exalted devotee. Our false ego vanishes when we engage in such kind of activities. And our false ego is what binds us to this material world. When we say false ego, the idea that I am the enjoyer is an outcome of misidentification. You are not the you are not the enjoyer. Bhoktaram yajnatapasam sarva lokamayeshwaram. There is only one enjoyer, who is Krishna. All others are just servants. Ekala Ishvara Krishna rasabhabritya. So this truth of our existence, we must not forget. It must not just remain as a theory, it must actually be driving our life, the principle. So to drive it, our acharyas have designed our sadhana marga in such a way. We get up in the morning, we chant, we attend Mangalarti, we worship the deity, we are made to do parikrama, we have only Krishna Prasadam. So all these are very, 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 very well thought out methods and procedures for development of proper consciousness. They have to be seriously, rigidly practiced and performed. Completely under the guidance, under the regulated rules and regulations of the scriptures and the sadhus and the acharyas. Very, very regimented. Just like the other day, someone was telling me that how one of his friend, both were friends, and one friend joined the army. So after 1 year or 1.5 years, he came for the leave. First 1.5 years he got a leave and he came back to his hometown. And he's saying, I am seeing my friend completely changed personality. Completely changed in the last 1 year. The way he will sit, the way he will talk, everything is changed. Why? Because of the army discipline. They have taught him how to sit, how to eat, how to talk. Doesn't matter whether you are from you see many of the army people, they are all from villages. Small, small villages of India. They join the army. But you see, as soon as he becomes an army man, he becomes immediately disciplined. Because of regulation, because of regimentation. So no matter from which background we are, if we take up Krishna consciousness, we can change our kind. Our practices are so designed that it can completely change our consciousness. Papi tapi yata chilo hari nama uddarilo. Prabhupada has practically demonstrated that by showing us how Prabhupada used or Prabhupada transformed people who are alien to our Sanatana culture. Completely alien people. The Westerners, the Africans, the Japanese. They look different, they think different, they eat different, but they could all come and merge and identify themselves with Krishna, with the principles of our Sanatana Dharma. Because we are intimately connected with the Supreme Lord. Jivera Swarupohi Nityera Krishna Das. Because as living entity, we are by design servant of Krishna. That is our original nature. It is not simply talking these kind of philosophical things. Anybody can say anything. Phalena parichaya. By the result of taking up Krishna consciousness, you can see they have all aligned themselves to serve Krishna. You cannot just imitate such kind of things until and unless you are practically experiencing that feelings towards the Supreme Lord. So, the point here is that, where it is being mentioned, that the sages circumambulated the Supreme Lord, offered their obeisances and returned, extremely delighted at learning of the divine opulences of Vaishnava. They did pradakshina to the Lord, and they were doing smarana. Because in the previous verses, the Lord has glorified the Vaishnavas. So they are doing smarana. Oh, Vaishnava is so great. Why they are so great? Mahatmanastu Bam Partha Daivim Prakriti Mashrita. Great devotees, they get the same Prakriti as the Supreme. Daivim Prakriti Mashrita. Because they are taken ashraya of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Vaishnavas are so rare. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudevam sarvamiti samhatma sadurlabha. See, Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita that after many, many lifetimes, someone maybe will come to me. And of those people, Vasudevam Sarvamati, Samhatma Sudurlabha. One who accepts Vasudeva as Sarva, that kind of a soul is very, very rare. So, the glory of a Vaishnava is so high. We must not take it as something very lightly. No. Anybody who is chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he is a rare soul. So just imagine somebody who is seriously chanting, somebody who is seriously worshipping. We must hold him in high esteem. We must pay our obeisances and not so these are some points that we can remind ourselves of the importance of the various angas of our spiritual life. An opportunity. Sometimes we say, "ठीक है, we didn't do parikrama, it's not no big deal." Or today I didn't get up in the morning, no big deal. I'll do it tomorrow. Or today I didn't read Bhagavatam. We take it very, very lightly. No. Even if there is bodily discomfort, bodily pain, we must strive to take our spiritual practices very seriously. Because these practices are divinely ordained. They are not practices that were simply being done like some mundane material practices. No. We'll stop here if there's any question, comments. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की.